I'm giving you a big warning. We are all here together over the next 2 days, and it can get scary. We know that connections can be extraordinarily disruptive. And anybody who has ever done this and plugged in a plug and gotten shocked, yeah, not so much fun. But connections are, I would argue, as important as to be or not to be. To connect or not connect is to be or not to be. And I would say that poor Hamlet might have done a whole lot better had he connected a little bit more with the people that he cared about. Now, what's kind of cool is that we are built to connect. We are biologically built to connect. In fact, our survival is built on us being able to do that. And yet, we are not doing such a great job of that. We are kind of in a landscape of disconnect. Despite the amount of information, right, that you get dumped on you every single day, the news that we have to absorb every single day, it is isolating us. And that's killing us. It is actually killing us. If we do not learn how to connect, we are never going to be the people that we want to be, particularly in our own industry. But what if? What if we collectively start to deeply connect to what makes us all thrive? And not just thrive as individuals, but how we learn to thrive together. And why is this so important? So being the science girl, I had to throw just a little bit in, right? So this is from Stanford. We're all wellness people. High inflammation at the cellular level. Those are things that cause cancer. If we are disconnecting, we are getting sick. And in the United States, it's an epidemic. So this one really frightened me. This is from 2004. Only 25% of the people in our country feel that they don't have anybody that they can go and talk to. Their dog dies. Their mother gets ill. They don't feel like they have someone to connect to. And we need to do better. And so I want to talk about what I consider to be the misconnect. What are we missing? Are we connecting with all the wrong things? We're constantly texting and putting things on Facebook. But what is it that we are missing? What is it that we as wellness people have to think about? And I would say that it does start with us. What's the connection that each one of us has to ourselves? Now, I happen to like Jane Austen. Do anybody here read any Jane Austen? Yeah, okay, right. And so many of her stories are about how do people connect. They're all screwed up. They're like, but by the end of the story, they're like, oh, great, now we understand each other. That's connection. And it gets to that sense of, do we truly know how to love ourselves? And in wellness, we don't use this word a lot, do we? Right? In business in particular. But at the end of the day, so much of what we need to understand is, do we love ourselves? We know how to love other people. We're really, really good at that. And so the question is, and here's the quick writing down part, what are you connected to in yourself that you love about yourself? You got 20 seconds. You got to do it quick. What do you love about you? What makes you uniquely special? And so once we've done that, once we know who we are, then it gets down to how do we connect with others. This is an actual fortune from an actual wisdom cookie. I'm not going to call it a fortune cookie because it's not a fortune. And I just thought it was so profound. And it's been very true in my own life that if I am connecting with that person, I'm learning. Now, another little geeky thing is that in our brains, you can either connect socially or you can connect to yourself. So have you ever sat in a meeting and gone, thinking about the oatmeal I had this morning and all this, and you're completely disconnected? That is actually like a little flip switch in your head. And so I'm going to ask you a question. When have you connected really well with someone? Just write the first thing that comes down in your head. When have you done a really good job of connecting with someone? When you were totally present, totally connected. Everybody have something? Good. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is this environment that surrounds us all the time. Again, we were not built to be inside buildings, and yet 90% of our time is spent in spaces like this. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you know if the air in here is keeping you healthy? No, right? But how do these pictures make you feel? So these are just some of the places that I've been lucky enough to visit. And there is a deep psychological connection that we have to nature. When we cut ourselves off from the very thing where we were created to be, we are hurting ourselves. It is a way of isolating ourselves in a way that we don't want to do that. So I am going to ask you now to think about one place that you deeply connect to nature in your own life, wherever that is for you. So go ahead, write it down. Green counts. And because we're here, business is about connecting. And I think you already saw that with the first presentation here. But in our world, all of us have expertise. The more we connect, the more we can address the burning platform that we are all trying to solve. And so I challenge you to think about that. This is an example of how connections can happen right here. Global Women for Wellbeing, of which I am a co-founder, and we have some of the board members in this room, started at a conversation here at this event, well, not here, but when we were in Orlando a year ago, in 1 year. And so magic happens when real connections happen. I'm going to ask you to stand up. Stand up real quick because we've only got 20 seconds. Grab the hand of the person next to you. Just go ahead and do it. Grab that person. All right. And put your hands up in the air. Go ahead and do it. Woohoo! Okay. Woo! That is what connection can do. That is what we get to do together. Thank you for connecting.